Hello learners, this is again teacher Johnmark. Welcome to our today's lesson of English in Standard 7 again here at Homeorama Smart School. Just like I had said that in Homeorama Smart School we bring learning to you that is at home. So I would request that you stay tuned together with a notebook and a pen as I take you through the types of adjectives. Now, in our previous lesson, we learned about adjectives together with the order of adjectives. We also gave the definition of an adjective. Maybe just to remember, what is an adjective? We said that an adjective is a word that tells us more information about a noun. I repeat, an adjective is a word that tells us more information about a noun. Now, with the types of adjectives, they have actually been put into three types. So type number one, we have got the positive adjectives. Type number two, we have comparative adjectives. And type number three, we have got the superlative adjectives. So class, those are the three types of adjectives that we do have in English. Type number one is positive adjectives. Type number two is comparative adjectives. And type number three is superlative adjectives. Now, let us start with type number one, that is positive adjectives. Now, when we talk about positive adjectives are actually used to describe or to talk about one item. Positive adjectives are used to describe an item or just one item. I will give an example in a sentence. Example: Alice is tall, full stop. So, just like we had said last time that an adjective describes a noun, and therefore the word Alice is a noun and the word tall is an adjective. You know what? Tall has been used to give us more information about Alice. Therefore, because tall is only talking about Alice, or tall is only describing one noun, it is considered as a positive adjective. Other examples of positive adjectives, class, we have words like, we have got words like small. We also have got a word like fat. Please, the word is fat, written like this, F-A-T, and not this fat. We all know that the second one means an action of emitting gas that is from your anus. That is what is referred to as what? Fat, with letter R. But the one that I am talking about is fat without letter R. So we also have got fat. Another one is long. Another one is huge. Another one is deep, just to mention but a few. So positive adjectives only talk about one item or just one noun. The next category of adjectives that we do have in English is the comparative adjectives. Comparative. Comparative comes from the word to compare. To compare simply means to give a difference between two things or two people or two items. That is the meaning of comparing. Therefore, comparative adjectives come from the word to compare. to compare. And therefore, comparative adjectives are used to draw a distinction or a difference between two things or two items. Two things or two items. And most of these particular adjectives end in ER. Most of them end in ER. In other words, we are taking the positive adjectives and we add the suffix ER. That is what exactly we are doing here. I repeat, we are taking the positive adjectives. If, for example, the word is tall, what do? I said we add the suffix ER. Remember, a suffix is a letter or letters that are added after a word. And the opposite of suffix is prefix. In other words, a prefix comes before a word and a suffix comes after a word. Prefix before, suffix after. So, comparative adjectives are used to compare two things or two items or even two people. And most of them end in ER. So if the adjective if the positive adjective is tall, we are adding ER. And what will be the final result? The final result will be taller. In other words, taller is actually a comparative adjective. We can construct a sentence using the word taller. We can say, Moses is taller than John. I repeat, Moses is taller than John. We can still have another one. Another comparative adjective may be smaller. Let's have small. Small as the positive adjective. We add the suffix ER and the final result here will be smaller. So, what can we do? We can still construct a sentence using smaller. For example, my pen is smaller than his pen. My pen is smaller than his pen. We can also have another sentence that says, his eyes are smaller than her eyes. So, other comparative adjectives are words like more beautiful. Remember, not all comparative adjectives end in ER. There are adjectives that take more before them. An example is beautiful. We cannot actually say beautifuler. Of course, there is nothing in English like beautifuler, but we say more beautiful. Another one is handsome. There is nothing like handsomer, but we say more handsome. Another one is expensive. There is nothing in English like expensiver. But what we say more expensive. Another one is difficult. We say more difficult and not difficult. First of all, it does not even make sense. You might actually end up, biting your tongue for no apparent reason. So, what have I said? I have said comparative adjectives are used to compare or to draw a distinction or a comparison between two things, two items, or two people. Now, learners, having taken you through the positive adjectives and the comparative adjectives, I want us now to look at the superlative adjectives. You might be wondering, what is meant by superlative? Superlative. Something super. Something super is not just something that is good. But it actually surpasses. It actually surpasses what we call, the attitude or the attribute of being good. It's not just good, but there is something that is more There's something more to it. Superlative. It actually exceeds. It exceeds being good. Superlative. And therefore, superlative adjectives are used to describe the items that are more than 2. So if the number is more than 2, we use the superlative adjectives. If the number is more than 2, it can be 3, it can be 4, it can be 5. What we use is superlative adjectives. And most of these particular adjectives end in EST. Most of them end in EST, such that if we have a word like small, what do? We simply add EST. So what will be the final result? The final result will be smallest. The final result will be smallest. That is number 1. Number 2, we also have got an adjective like tall. What do we add? We add EST. And of course, the final result here will be tallest. We can still come up with quite a good number of these particular adjectives. We can also have a word like dark. That is a positive adjective. The comparative adjective will be darker, and the superlative adjective will be darkest. So we shall have dark, darker, darkest. We can also have another one, thin. Thin. And here I want you to note the spelling of the word is thinnest. So we are going to add EST. What will be the final result? The final result will be thinnest. Thinnest with double letter N and not single letter N. Now, I want to believe that we all know that all the words that have this formation here, CVC, what do we do to the last consonant? CVC simply means consonant, vowel, consonant. So, words that have got this particular formation, normally we look at the last 3 letters of a word. The last 3 letters of a word. So, in the word thin, the last 3 letters here are HIN. So, CVC to stand for consonant, vowel, consonant. So if a word has got this formation here, we double the last consonant. So here, what am I going to do to the last consonant, which is letter N? I double letter N so that I have 2 letter N's. So the word will be thinnest, thinnest, double letter N and not single letter N. Another point that you should note is not all the superlative adjectives end in EST. The number is actually quite the number is quite long, but not all of them end in EST. There are some of them that do not end in EST. An example is beautiful. We cannot say beautifulest. That will be very wrong, but we say most beautiful. We can construct a sentence using the superlative adjective most beautiful. And the sentence can be of the 3 girls, Jane is the most beautiful. Of the 3 girls, Jane is the most beautiful. I repeat, of the 3 girls, Jane is the most beautiful. Okay, of the 3 girls, Jane is the most beautiful. Now again, we can also have another one like difficult. We say most difficult and not more difficult. We can still have another one like expensive. It cannot be expensivest, but we say most expensive. Most expensive. Most expensive. We can the superlative adjectives are actually very many. I have only mentioned a few, but I am going to give you an exercise. But before I give you an exercise, there is something here that I want you to note. Anytime we talk about pairs, for example, we can have a couple. We can also have twins. For example, an example in a sentence can be, of the two twins, we cannot say, of the two twins, Jane is the tallest. That will be very wrong. Anytime we are talking about pairs, we use the comparative adjectives and not the superlative adjectives. So instead of saying of the two twins, Jane is the tallest, we say of the two twins, Jane is the taller. We do not say tallest, but we say taller. So when we talk about pairs, we use comparative adjectives. Now, I am going to give you an exercise. Okay, so this is the exercise. So I would like all of you to fill in the blanks, that is with the correct types of adjectives. I beg to end my lesson there for today. So from now until we meet next time, you will have a lovely day. But remember to send all the answers, that is to the email that is given below there. I have been your lovely teacher, Teacher Johnmark. Bye, and I love you all.